This video is about making French toast in your Cutco cookware. The most important thing really is the temperature of the pan when you start cooking the French toast. And you're going to know if it's ready or not by doing the water test. You're going to see here in a second, I throw some water, I just did, in the pan, and it just sort of steamed and dissipated away. It's not ready yet. You want the water beads to be dancing around the pan. You can do a butter test as well, which I'm doing here, which if the butter just melts and doesn't sizzle, it's not hot enough. Generally, you want it to be sizzling but not smoking. I'm going to do another water test, and you'll see that there's some beads dancing around in the pan when I throw the water in there. So that is a good sign. It's still a little bit steaming, so I probably should have heated it up a little bit more, but I think it's going to work okay. You can see this butter in here is sizzling, but it's not smoking a ton, so that's the temperature that we want. And usually you want to get the whole bottom of the pan coated, so you can see I just move it around to get it all nice and coated on the bottom. But doing the water test is really important. So usually I just put the pan on the stove, let it heat up while I'm prepping other things so that I'm not frustrated waiting for it to heat up. And then I'll just check it with a water test every so often. And as soon as it starts rolling beads around with the water test, then you know it's ready. Then you put your butter in. You want it to be sizzling but not smoking. And then you put your food in. And you can see I'm adding the French toast here. And usually when you add things, immediately it will stick a little bit. But once it gets that sear, then it will lift right away. And you can see here, even when I went to lift it up to check the color of it to know if it was ready for flipping, it didn't stick to the pan at all. At the end of this video, I lift the French toast out of the pan and nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. You just see some of the butter still left in there. So again, the most important thing is heat up the pan, do the water test, make sure that it's got beads. As soon as it has beads, it's hot enough. If you put the butter in and it's sizzling, that's great. If it's smoking, a lot of black smoke, a little too hot, so you take the pan back off the stove and let it cool down just a little bit for a couple of minutes, then put it back on and do the water test again. And then when you're ready, you put your food in, let it cook for a minute or two, and then you can start checking the bottom to see if it's the right color. For me, these French toast, I sped the video up for you, but it took about 5 minutes per side. I think I could have had the temperature of the pan a little bit hotter actually than it was, but it worked out. We got a beautiful color. And then I did 3 sets of French toast. So as soon as I took it out, the first set out, I tested the pan again with the water just to make sure it was still the right temperature, which it was. So I threw in 2 new pieces, and the same thing happened, which is they cooked beautifully, they lifted right out, nothing stuck to the pan. We gave it about 4 or 5 minutes, flipped it over, gave it another 4 or 5 minutes, and it was good to go. The recipe that we used got a lot of really great raves by our guests today, so if you'd like to try a new French toast recipe, we'll send you the link, one that we found online. Worked out really well, and we hope you enjoy your French toast. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those either on the yourknifeguy.com website page you found this on, or on YouTube.